This is such an important question that so many people overlook. We're trained to be like men who can work 9 to 5, who can grind, rest is for the weak. All that stuff is so outdated. It is so important to honor the feminine cycle. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jen Sarbone. If you're watching this right now and you're on your health and fitness journey, you want to feel amazing on the inside and out, this is the channel for you. Being that I just reached 500 subscribers, because we all got to start somewhere, I appreciate all the new subscribers that just came in, so welcome. What I want to do is just break down 10 comments that stood out to me from the past few videos that I've just made. That way I can expand on any questions you have or any comments you've made, and hopefully we can get to know each other a little bit better. So grab a notebook and a pen, let's get into it. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because you're not going to want to miss this. The first comment from Funky Muskrat 73, this was actually my first comment ever on my first video ever. And so he says, my wife has your videos from Bikini Model Fitness in a playlist and does them regularly. Her favorite is 15-minute butt lift home workout with bands. This is in her playlist now. She was always disappointed you weren't in many. Please do more. Surprisingly, I think I was your first video in like, yes, you were. So shout out to you and thank you. And I'm so happy your wife liked my videos. I remember filming those videos. I was paid to go do a gig for this YouTube channel and I didn't know how big the YouTube channel was. I'm pretty sure some of my booty bands at home workouts were a hit. So I do want to incorporate them into my own channel. And I do plan to actually do that this week or next week. Look out for those for sure. Number 2 is from a Zet001. Please make food vlogs, videos, and what I eat in a day for fat loss. Thank you so much. Thank you for the suggestion. I did make one what I eat in a day. My thing is, I'm not a typical, I found this out through trial. I'm not a vlogger. I'm not a, hey guys, here's my matcha latte in the morning, here's my espresso. I'm not hating on any influencer who does that. I think it's awesome to be able to like, hey, here's my kitchen, here's my morning routine. But I find it very unnatural for me, and I'm also a total spaz in the kitchen, and I have no rhyme or reason to my movements. So I also believe I made a short that is a chicken recipe that I actually do. I actually can cook pretty well. It just looks crazy on camera. I am going to update a what I eat in a day, so I will, thanks. This third one is from Inertia. So this is in regards to my first video of how to get toned without getting bulky. Basically, I just broke down my whole entire process of doing a body recomp, building muscle, burning fat at the same time as a woman. Inertia reads, hey Jennifer, thank you for the video. I have a question. I am at my heaviest weight right now for context. I'm 24, female, 5'5", 118 kgs. I have PCOS symptoms like hirsutism and irregular menstrual cycles. I've lost massive weight with keto before, with just body weight training at home during COVID, but I gained it all back after a year and I'm even heavier now. The question, at 8 minutes and 7 seconds, when you say strength training helps tone the body and lose fat, which is better than HIIT or cardio, is that true for someone my size as well? Or should HIIT cardio be a priority for someone obese? Is it viable to think about toning at this weight? Thank you in advance. And actually, I really appreciate you explaining everything that you have going on, and I'm definitely here to help. Congrats for losing a lot of weight on keto. Unfortunately, sometimes keto is not sustainable or anything that's too harsh, especially if you have PCOS. So my answer to you would be that the best approach will be mostly strength training, a little bit of HIIT training, and less cardio. This will support your hormone balance by reducing the visceral fat you have on your body, and this will improve your testosterone estrogen ratios. You can do HIIT maybe once a week because it is good for your cardiovascular health, but too much is detrimental for somebody who does have PCOS just because it does add so much extra stress on the body. So too much will spike your cortisol levels and worsen your PCOS symptoms. Whereas if you're actually doing cardio like LISS, which is low intensity, steady state cardio, correct me if I'm wrong, walking every single day or even just walking 3 times a week, that's gonna help you burn extra fat without overly stressing your body. This could also reduce your stress and help you with your recovery. So for you, I would say your best strategy, or for anybody who is listening that may have PCOS or a lot of weight to lose, strength training 3 times a week, HIIT maybe once a week, and then steady state walking 2 to 3 times a week or daily if that's something that is helpful to your routine. As far as your nutrition goes, definitely super high protein. For you, not 0.7 times your body weight in protein, 1.0 times your body weight in protein. And that could be a little bit of a stretch, but just aim for that daily. You want to do moderate carbs from whole foods and moderate fats. and some moderate low carb cycling. So what I mean by this, you should have lower carbs on your rest days and then slightly higher carbs on your strength training days. So recently I did a carb cycling process myself. I made a video about it. I would not say you would have the same carb cycling plan as myself because you don't want to be extreme. So for you, doing no carb days is detrimental for your symptoms. So if you are doing, let's say, a 3-day carb cycle plan, you can even do your highest day is about 150 grams. And I'm just saying, I don't know your exact number off the jump. Your moderate day would be about 120 grams, and then your low day would be about 80 grams. So the very high carb days, you could do your leg days, you could do your back days. The moderate carb days could be maybe like your push, your core, even your hip days. And then on the very low carb days could be just your rest days in general. So I would incorporate that. And then lastly, the Mediterranean diet is very beneficial for someone like yourself. I just so happen to follow mostly that diet as well, just because it does resonate with me. It makes me feel good. Anything that is anti-inflammatory and insulin friendly. You want to do your best to cut out refined and processed foods. So anything that has ingredients in the labels that you just can't understand, seed oils, refined sugars, all of these things cause spikes, they cause inflammation, and they affect you more than they would affect an average person. If you can as well, cut out dairy and gluten. I know this is hard. If you need extra dairy and gluten-free options, let me know, I got you. And your stress management and your sleep. 7 to 9 hours a night, especially for strength training. Stress management meaning like journaling, taking walks, going out into nature. That's gonna heal you like no medicine ever could. And lastly, you just wanna choose consistency over intensity every time. So I hope that helps. Question number 4 comes from Hobby Horsing 2003. And this again is in regards to the how to get toned without bulking up video. And this reads, hey Jennifer, I love this video. I'm 21, 5'7", tall, and weigh 128 pounds. I plan on gaining more muscle. I already trained for like a half a year with a push-pull leg split 3 days a week. 1 day abs and cardio, and I made some progress. Awesome. Now that I have more time, I'm planning on doing an upper lower body split with 4 days of the week and 1 day abs and cardio. But I am a bit torn. I've heard from colleagues that these kind of splits are more for men. Maybe I've overheard it, but what split do you use? And do you think that's too much upper body? Maybe. I'm really trying to get any info I can, but most female influencers I've seen mainly concentrate on the lower body. But from a gut feeling, I thought upper lower split would be balanced. Thank you and very, very nice video. Much love. So first off, big congratulations for being so consistent for 6 months. That's huge. Doing it all on your own without help. I could tell you're a very motivated girl. So let me actually clear this up. Upper or lower splits are not just for men. That's a total myth. In fact, I condone women doing 2 upper and 2 lower over just doing legs 3 times a week and maybe 1 upper body day. To me, this is actually the most balanced split you could do because A, symmetry matters, right? If you're building and sculpting your shoulders, your back, your lats, all these upper body muscles, you're going to create the illusion of an hourglass shape and you're going to look more feminine. B, your strength is going to carry over. Building strength in your upper body is only going to support your lower body lifts. Think squats, deadlifts, RDLs. So you'll just make more progress this way overall. And C, hormonal and metabolic benefits. Training every body part is going to prevent you from overtraining your lower body, which is going to help you in recovery and overall development. It's going to help you with your hormone health and your longevity in training. At your stats, being 5'7", 128 pounds, you're definitely a leaner gal who's tall and lean, which is phenomenal. I'm jealous. No, I'm just kidding. But you have a lot of room to grow. And if you have extra time, absolutely do 2 upper and 2 lower with an ab split. And that 1 day of cardio is perfect for building muscle and still remaining balanced and sustaining your cardiovascular health without doing too much and then risking your muscle gains. For me personally, I've always rotated between upper, lower, full, push, pull, leg, upper, upper, lower, lower, depending on my season and how much time I have. But I will say for women in your position, that's one of the most effective splits you could do. Keep trusting your gut because you are on the right track. Keep your protein nice and high. You should be on a slight surplus as well. Comment number 5, this is going to be from Treya Cheda. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. It's a really pretty name. And this is also in regards to my first video. Finally, good real advice. Thank you so much for this video. It was very insightful. Subscribe. Thank you. What are your thoughts on working out through the hormonal cycle as the energy levels dip and rise? I find it extremely difficult to find the motivation to hit the gym in my luteal phase and on the first 2 days of my cycle. Girl, You're preaching to the choir. So thank you so much for your kind words, by the way. This is such an important question that so many people overlook because we're trained to be like men who can work 9 to 5, who can grind, rest is for the weak, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Like all that stuff is so outdated. It is so important to honor the feminine cycle and actually use it to your advantage. You're so spot on because hormonal cycles will affect your motivation, your strength, your energy levels, and just your overall mood. So the first phase, as you know, is the follicular phase. This is right after your period, ovulation. And because you just got off your period and your estrogen levels rise, your energy levels are higher, your recovery is higher, your motivation is overall better. So this is the perfect time after your period to go the extra mile, strength train heavy, hit new PRs. You're gonna want to do it. So do it. When you're ovulating, you have your peak strength and energy. This is also a time where women can be more creative. So if you're building something, you can really get into your feminine energy and create in this state. It's perfect for heavier lifts or hit if you enjoy it. Then comes your luteal phase, which is after ovulation and right before your period. This is when your progesterone levels raise and then your energy dips, your motivation dips, you feel sluggish, you feel like you're in a bad mood, you start fights. I don't know if you do that, but sometimes I do that. This is when you start to feel bloated, sluggish, you might break out a little bit, your breasts are tender. This is where some people want to move lightly, like yoga or walking or even just stretching or active recovery. Some people, they don't want to do anything at all. I know for me, leading up to my period, I'll work out, but I know that my lifts are trash, but I'm gonna do it anyway, right? But I don't get mad at myself if I can't stay on track or I can't beat last week's weight because it's my phase. So during these days that lead up to your period and on your period, if you're feeling super unmotivated, and I don't know about you, but I am a human garbage disposal. The night before my period, it's always like, oh my God, why do I keep eating? I'm so full, but I'm so hungry at the same time. And then I'm like upset about it. And then the next day I'm like, oh, I got my period. And it's the same thing for training. I'm just like, oh, I don't want to be here. I'll sometimes take a day off when I get it. And then maybe the day after, and sometimes the third day, it just depends, because some cycles it hits me harder than others. But I say all that to say, nutrition wise, I let myself go the day of my period and even sometimes the second day, but it's because I'm so regimented and clean that it doesn't really affect me as far as like, oh, all my progress isn't going to be put to waste just because of those 2 days. And honestly, they don't really tell you this, but you burn more calories on your period. Do you ever notice in the middle of the night you have sweats? I don't know about you, but I go to bed kind of cold, and then in the middle of the night, I'm just drenched. Like I feel like I got possessed. And it's because your body is actively burning way more calories. It's working on flushing out all this crap in your body. The female body is actually exceptional. Give yourself grace, because in those times where you need rest, you're burning more calories. Don't worry if you eat a little bit more, you have a little bit more sugar for that day or those 2 days. If anything, if you really prioritize that rest and give yourself what you're craving within reason, you're gonna go so much further than fighting against yourself, trying to just be the same every single day. We're not supposed to work that way. Hopefully that helps, hopefully this balance will allow you to understand that this is what's gonna help you be consistent year round. And that's what really drives results. So much love to you. Thank you so much. This is a comment number 6 from Patricia Faletti 1638. This was a comment on my legs and booty video, and she commented, I didn't realize that I should be increasing weight in between my sets. So I'm looking forward to incorporating that. Yes, 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 girl. It's such a good takeaway. Our muscles need to be challenged. If you're gonna do the same weight week after week after week, you're not gonna see results. You're just wasting your time. Eventually you are gonna plateau, but if you gradually just improve one thing each and every single week, this is how you're going to see the muscle growth. Obviously this could be done in 4 ways: increasing the weights, the reps, decreasing the rest time, increasing the amount of sets, right? For example, increasing the weight is the classic method. If you're squatting 60 pounds for 10 reps the first week for 3 sets, maybe the second week on your last rep or even on your first rep, you're gonna do 65 pounds instead. Second is increasing the reps. If you're not ready to do that yet, instead of doing 10 reps, add an extra 2 reps, because I'm sure you'll still have 2 in the tank. Slowing down the tempo, I always say this in my videos, it's a 3-2-1 tempo. That's my very, very favorite. You don't have to do this all the time, but for majority of my movements, especially my compound movements, really all of them, it's 3-2-1. If I'm doing a bicep curl, I start here, I come up 1, I hold 1, 2, and I come down 1, 2, 3. Concentric, hold, eccentric. 60% of the muscle is always built on the eccentric movement. And not enough people understand this. A lot of people, they just do machines. They don't know what to do when, why, or how. They don't know it's effective. So if I see somebody on the bicep curl machine looking around, not even engaged with what they're doing, You're literally wasting your time. You need to lock in. And again, a great way to progressive overload is to really slow down on the way down. And then shortening the rest time, instead of checking your phone and scrolling between each set, what you could do is actually set a timer for 45 seconds on your phone. That way you're not lollygagging, you don't get sidetracked, and then you're kind of ruining that momentum. And then of course, increasing the sets. Maybe instead of doing 3 sets, you do 4. That's another form of progressive overload. You guys, you gotta try this in some way, shape, or form throughout your split. This is comment number 7 on the legs and glutes video. This is from Levi LLL15. Hi, I also like glutes exercises as a man. And doing glutes exercises for more than 7 months now, but there's not much improvement as you can see. So can you tell which area should I focus more and perfect exercises for that area, please? Okay, so first off, I love that you're focusing on glutes as a man. That's amazing. Strong glutes aren't just an aesthetic thing. They're really important for power, athletic performance, posture, and even injury prevention. So props to you for putting in 7 months of work. Now let's kind of figure out why you may not be seeing or feeling results. Usually there's going to be 2 reasons behind this. Number 1 is lack of progressive overload, which I just talked about, and then number 2 would be just lack of diversity in your glute workouts, aka selection and glute targeting. So progressive overload, are you actually pushing and increasing? Are you really challenging yourself? You should feel uncomfortable. When you're doing leg presses, go with a buddy. Make sure that you're drop setting the leg press if you can. I have a short on that. If you're going up to, let's say you start with 2 plates and then you add on 2 more, 2 more, 2 more, 2 more. When you're at your very, very heaviest, I would say if you go with a friend and maybe you're doing 10 of the heaviest one, have your friend drop a plate on one side, do 10 more, drop one on the other side, do 10 more, all the way until you're down to just 2 plates. You need to do things like that. That's just an example. You could be doing that on the hip thrust. Drop sets are going to be super, super helpful, or again, just progressive overloading in general. So the second part to that is your exercise selection and glute targeting, right? So you want to make sure you're actually targeting the glute max, the glute med, and the glute min. So first of all, for your glute max, you want to focus on size and power. So things like hip thrusts, RDLs, and then step ups. But make sure the step up, you have a forward lean, you have proper foot placement so that when you're actually stepping up, you squeeze the glute muscle. Now your glute medius, this is the one that's kind of helps shape your hips. Like women say, oh, I have hip dips. So you got to do glute medius workouts to fill in that gap. But even for a man who wants to work their medius as well, you can do lateral band walks and monster walks. I mean, these are always like a good activation or burnout after you do the compound lifts. Glute medius kickbacks, it's like doing a kickback but on a certain angle. I can definitely incorporate that in a video so you can see it. Bulgarian split squats. You can do Bulgarian split squats that will target your quads, but again, if you stand the right way, just like a step up. So if you lean forward, you put your foot more out to the side and you hold a dumbbell in one hand, you put the other hand on your glute to make sure you're feeling it. That squeezing that glute on the way up is a total glute medius, glute shelf, chef's kiss. And lastly, cable abductions. So the out ones, you could do the forward lean. So sometimes I'll just do like 15 regular sitting up. Then I increase the weight, I lean forward. At some gyms, they have the handles where you can lean forward and you just push out with that med muscle as much as you can. And you could probably do a lot of weight here. Lastly, your glute minimus, your glute min. There's a way to also do this on the cable glute kickback that will target the min. But other than that, I would recommend single leg movements like single leg RDLs and single leg glute bridges. The key is hitting all angles. So horizontal, vertical, in and out. Horizontal hip extension like hip thrusts, vertical hip extension like squats and deadlifts, RDLs, and then the in and outs, the abduction, adduction, side to side movements. Most people, and men especially, they'll just do squats because they're like, well, I don't got time for hip thrusts, or I'm not doing all that stuff because I'm a man, but they wonder why their glutes aren't round, right? Obviously track your lifts as well, track your weights, especially aim to get better at the hip thrusts, RDLs, and split squats, because these are going to be the major glute growth factors. This is comment and question number 8 from Sam Ridhe 835. Hi Sam. She says that I'm 18 and I'm 5 foot as well, just like me. I've been on a caloric deficit for months and I lost weight overall, but belly fat and face fat isn't budging. Can you recommend exercises with dumbbells to help me with this? Building muscle, even in legs and arms, help in fat loss. So can you recommend your favorite exercises which showed the most difference? Thank you so much. Oh, I love this. First of all, I love your dedication. Being on a caloric deficit is tough, especially for an extended amount of time. So I give you props. And I will say I can definitely relate to you being 5 foot. It's like like if we gain 5 pounds, the whole world notices. Yet if a 5'10" woman gained 5 pounds, no one would notice. So for us, it's like every pound counts. What I will say though about spot reduction, right? Unfortunately, we really cannot spot reduce fat. I know there's a lot of claims and research that say, oh, spot reduce your belly fat. And while some of that could be true, and I'll get into that, I personally don't feel like you could just choose, okay, I'm gonna lose all my belly fat and keep the fat in my butt, unless you're getting lipo or surgery. So doing 500 crunches a day isn't going to reduce the fat around your belly. Yeah, you're gonna be sore all the time, but the fat itself isn't gonna be burned. Your body decides where it wants to store fat. For example, for me, it's always in my hips. If I gain weight, it goes straight to my hips, and it's so noticeable. And if I lose weight, it's like that's the last thing to budge for me, and it's so frustrating. So my rule of thumb is just to build lean muscle everywhere consistently, because over time, you're obviously gonna be burning more calories at rest and overall reducing your amount of percentage of body fat, thus improving your body composition overall. So remaining consistent in whatever split you are doing for full body will be key. Now, I will say as far as ab exercises, yes, there are certain ab movements that are gonna be able to shape and tone, which won't hurt. You could add those in once a week. And then there's the other ab workouts that are actually core building workouts that are gonna help you with your squats and all your other movements. Because if you think about it too, when you're doing compound movements, you're always using your core. When I'm squatting, I'm using my core. When I'm hinging, I'm using my core. Rowing, pushing, anything, my core is constantly being used. So workouts like farmer carries, like the not glamorous ones where you're just holding the weights and walking, they may look silly or you'll feel silly, but that's actually gonna help improve your compound movements. Whereas there are some really cool aesthetic workouts too, like your leg raises and all the fancy stuff you can do on the floor. I would do a combination of both of those. But overall, like I said, just focusing on overall strength training, building the muscle, losing the body fat. Remember, just consistency with proper nutrition over time is gonna get you the best results. To add to this comment, I know that Prazis 2036 did add a lot of information about spot reducing belly fat. So apparently it's possible. There's new research to prove this. There's a study that showed there's different cardio that can engage your core, that more fat could be used from your midsection. Yeah, so and I really like this last paragraph that she put. Jogging was a game changer for me personally. My gut was always the last to go. So jogging helped me get rid of my stubborn fat faster. Think about it this way. When you ran as a kid, your stomach hurts, right? That was your diaphragm working to help you breathe. Focus on breathing and flexing and using your abs as you run, and it'll be a game changer for you. So thank you for your insight, Krasis. I love when people actually explore research and they look into things. While I can agree that there is some new research that suggests targeting your muscle in combination with cardio and flexing can reduce stubborn belly fat, or activating certain muscles before cardio can temporarily produce blood flow and local fat mobilization, which might slightly help stubborn fat areas. However, in my opinion, I just think it's so slight compared to overall fat loss just from strength training and diet alone. So for anybody out there who is struggling with belly fat, number one thing is full body strength. As I've said so many times, this builds lean muscle, boosts your metabolism, burns more fat at rest, so it increases your metabolic rate. Progressive overload and core engagement. During all these compound lifts, you're always using your core. You always want to tuck your core with every single workout. You want to pretend there's space between your pants and your waist. So you're tucking that pelvis in. And when you engage that way and you're very mindful of your core, this already is working your core every single time. And of course, the targeted strengthening core workouts are gonna help as well. And then cardio for calorie burn. So whether you're doing lifts or HIIT, you're burning extra fat through cardio. Lastly, consistency and patience. Anything you do, give it time. Even if small fat reduction exists, stubborn fat often comes off last, and that's normal. So just be patient. So yeah, combining core exercises with cardio might slightly help spot fat reduction, but it's not magic. The most reliable way to see your belly or face fat reduce is still full body strength training, proper diet, high protein, calorie deficit, and consistency. The cool thing is though, if you do end up building all the strength, being on a deficit for so long, you finally get to where you want to be, you can reverse diet to maintain this and stay lean and shredded. I have a video on it, but if you do have extra questions about it, just let me know. Those were some pretty solid questions. Thank you so much. I hope that I did a good job answering those for you. I would love to do frequent Q&As for you. Be sure to subscribe for more, like, comment if you have any other questions on my answers to your questions.